Hello guys, this is Omkar and we are diving into finally data visualization, right? The one of the most important functionality that Power BI gives us is what we can visualize data. Why is there a need to visualize this data? The most important need to visualize this data because data is very overwhelming. It's so much data that's coming in, it's impossible for us human minds to comprehend that what this data means. What we rather do is we create beautiful visualizations so that it's easier to identify the patterns that is happening inside our data set, right? So the importance of effective data visualization is what? First thing is clarity. We are very clear with what is happening inside our business. Second is accuracy. We can accurately identify the patterns in our data sets and take further decisions. Whatever data that is overwhelming can get simplified using these charts. Last one is relevance. How relevant your charts is according to your data set. So there are multiple visualizations that comes in. What type of chart should be used when? We'll be looking at that as well. So overview of chart types, different chart types that are there. So as in there were different data types, if you remember, there was integer types, there are different chart types as well. These chart types are what? Bar and column charts. You can easily identify the different chart types on basis of what? On how they are looking, right? So bars and columns charts are there with multiple bars and columns that comes in. Another one is what? Line charts. So usually we use line charts on basis of what? To show trend over time. Then we have pie charts, right? And finally we have scatter plot. We'll be looking at each of these chart type, right? One by one. So let's start first by countering a famous or a simple question like how to choose a right chart. For what visualization should I choose which chart? See, there are bar and column charts. You can see the best use to do that is to use these charts is to compare categories, right? Line charts, as you can see, it is most relevant with time series data. Pie charts is to show how much proportion is taking up by each factor, and finally there are scatter plots to take whenever you want to show some kind of correlationship between different features or columns that you have, right? Let's try understand what is bar and column chart first, right? Let's take each and every chart and try to understand in depth what is the exact use of each and every chart that we are going to see. First one is what? Bar chart. So this bar chart consists of multiple bars that comes in, right? So there is we want to see sales over different regions. What we can do is we can create regions as south, west, east and north, and each bar size would be decided using what kind of sales that each region is doing. Another one is column chart. It is basically sideways bar chart that comes in similar to a bar chart but with what? Vertical bars. And in this vertical bar what happening is we usually do this to compare different time periods, right? For that purpose we use column charts, or rather we can use bar charts as well. Another type of chart that comes in is what? A line chart. So instead of bars, right, we are using what? We are using line charts. A line chart. How to create this line chart? So in Power BI it's an very user friendly tool. Just go into your visualization pane, and after adding your fields in, you can just select what? A line chart, right? Just choose a line chart, add the time data to x axis and add values to your y axis. So for x axis again there is time. Why? Because time series data is most suitable with what? The line chart type as our visualization. And then again there is pie chart. What is this pie chart? So you can also try take an example. Instead of a pie you can take one example as a pizza as well. So if you have eaten pizza, right, pizza is like one of the most tough competition when you are sitting along with your friends. Who will take what piece? How many pieces am I eating, right? A pie chart is basically that. What is happening is if I'm taking again segments wise sales, which segment is taking a lot of pie to itself according to sales, we can understand it using what? Pie chart. So see, for example, here how a pie chart looks like. We can see someone is taking a purple section which is a lot bigger than what is a blue section, right? A purpose of pie chart is what? To show data as slices. Each and every region or segment is taking up what? Slices and creating a whole pie. You will always see that pie chart consists some kind of percentage in it, and always a pie chart will have what? 100% if you add up each and every slices, right? So for creating a pie chart, what you will do is you can easily go to your visualization pane, select your pie chart, and you can add what? Data category to your legend and values to your values field, right? Best practices for pie chart is only keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. Don't add in a column which has multiple cardinalities. For example, what? a column has say 25 different unique values are coming in. Don't create a pie chart, because a pie chart then would be what, cluttered, because it would be having 25 slices. Now it is very complicated for me to understand what each and every slice is contributing to my sales. So what you can take, say for example, the 3 4 5 unique values that are coming in right in our columns, you can take that for your pie chart, right? Finally, we'll also see scatter plot now. We'll also see what scatter plot. Scatter plot is to identify the relationship that is happening between two columns, two features that come in. Say for example, I'm taking sales and profit. I'm trying to compare how that scatter, using scatter plot, I can see how that are correlated with each other. From my perspective, how many ever sales that I am doing, my profit should also increase. So in scatter plot, you will see a pattern that is going likewise, right? The slope going in such a way. But if the slope is going in a slight constant way that there is going, this means what, we can understand this, the relationship between sales and profit is not highly correlated, which means what, no matter how many higher sales I am doing, that does not mean that I am getting higher profit. Example, if I'm selling a 100 rupees product, I am getting 10 rupees as profit. But if I'm selling 1000 rupees product, I am still getting 10 rupees of profit. So it is not correlated. It's in a constant way that is going, right? Finally, we'll understand what are the best practices for chart design. Number one is limited elements. Don't make your charts a new problem. A chart is a solution to some problem, right? If your chart is cluttered with a lot and lot of information, that is basically the problem. That was the first prior problem, was that the data was overwhelming. Now your charts are overwhelming. So keep it simple. Keep only limited elements. Second is use consistent colors. Don't go around and I keep on adding, I'll add purple, I'll blue as well, black as well. Don't add those colors. Keep some color, grading is there as well. There are options, there are themes as well. So you can, follow around that theme. So you would have a best standard way of representing your dashboards or reports. Your colors should not, go and hurt your clients or users' eyes. It should be very easy to look at all those colors that you are adding. Clear label should be there. The chart that I have created but is without label is basically without any information, right? And finally, avoid 3D effects. Again, it might be a bit complicated to understand 3D charts, so try avoiding that. That does not mean that you should never add 3D effects. You can add in for your creative benefit, but sometimes it is better to remove all those options. Why? Because the main purpose is not to create a creative visualization, rather to create what, a thing that is easy to identify and take decisions on. That is the main purpose. Do not get it twisted, right? Finally, summarizing the whole points now. For summarizing the whole points, the first one was what, principles of effective data visualization. Another one was, we saw was chart type, different chart types. We saw pie chart was there, there was scatter plots, bar plots, then there is column charts as well. There are multiple charts which are beyond this. We'll be seeing in our practical application multiple charts coming in. And finally, the last thing is what, plotting basic charts, which we have already seen how to make those charts, but we'll take a a detailed view in our practical application. All right, thank you.
Hello everyone, we are looking at a practical approach for making charts today, right? So we have already looked at some theoretical ways where the most important thing was whichever charts that you are creating, that chart should be having a problem solving approach. So clients are facing problem, your dashboard should be a solution. To create this solution wala dashboard, what you will do is make your charts, relevant, clear, simple and accurate. These are the four things you should remember. So what we'll do, we'll come back to this our Power BI. We have these three beautiful panes. One is data pane, another one is visualization pane, and third one is a filters pane. So what we'll do is, say for example in visualization, here are two options that are adding. So add one visual and format that visual, right? For now I have not added anything, but I can still go and say for example this canvas, I can change my background color as well, right? I can decrease its transparency so that I could transform my coloring of my background as well, right? Then let's say for example, if I want to add a specific chart now instead of just formatting, so what I'll do, I'll just first take a simple stacked bar chart, right? Which is the data I'm using? I'm using the same data set consisting of all the movies we are sending to Oscars. What we can do is we can take this one singular chart and we can go and we can select fields from this data pane. In this fields, as you can see, there is this film name. Now one field is there. What is field? Basically the columns in your data set. So I'm selecting this film name, and another thing that I'll do is I'll select this box office. So let's see which movie is earning the most. Which movie was that earned the most amount, right? Let's try to get that. All right, as you can see, a simple bar chart, you can see it over here, right, consisting of all the movies and each bar representing how much money have they earned. So it is giving 1120, but that is not like they have not earned 1100 rupees. It is 1100 crores, so it's in crores, right? So each value is coming in. Of course, Kalki is the first most generating revenue, right? We can go ahead and format this visual according to our need. Now in format your visual, you will find two options are coming in: visual and general. Visual changes as you change the chart. General will remain the same throughout. Whichever chart you are creating, general will remain the same, right? So for example, a simple title is there. If I don't want that title, I can turn it off. If I want it again, I can turn it on. If I want to change the title, I can just go inside this title and I can change, like most revenue generating films, right? After that, I can go ahead, I can change what type of font that this title should have, what should be the font size, whether it should be bold or underlined or italic, its color, font color as well, and background color as well, where it should get aligned right, left or center aligned. Text wrapping is basically if you are giving multiple lines, like a bigger title is coming in, the text wrap will perfectly crop it in a way that multiple lines are coming in. Rather, if you give a big title without this text wrap, it will give you a dot dot dot, saying that there is something more into this title. To remove that dot dot dot, we use this text wrap. Again, I can go back to my, say for example, format visual. In that, I'll go to this visual tab. I can go ahead, I can also select these bars, and I can also change their colors as well. So keep some constant or standardized color patterns so that it is easier to understand, right? I can change these colors. Similarly, I can change this font name, font size of x-axis, y-axis, their titles as well. I can remove those titles as well. There's one more thing that I'd like to add is, so I have something called as data labels. As you can see in these data labels, if I'll turn it on, I'll get these values as well, 1121 and all this. Again, I can specifically just drag how big this report should look like. And one thing I'll also do is I'll go to general tab. In my effects, I can see there's this visual border and shadow. So I like to add in some visual borders and shadow to my, so I have this border and shadow coming into my chart. Another basic chart that we can go for is a stacked column chart. So you'll find the option right over here beside stacked bar chart. And in this column chart, now what we'll do is, so see column chart is written over here. We can take, say for example, uh, director and the number of the budget that each director has, right? So which director is giving the highest or the most expensive films? So that is Nag Ashwin. That director is giving, he has invested 600 crores in movie industry. So creating, I guess he has created Kalki, I'm not sure, but I can find out these directors, and again I can go to my format visuals. Again, I'll go back, I can add in my data labels as well. Then I'll go to general, I can change its title as well. So I'll also make it bold, and also take it center aligned. Then in effects, I can again add on visual border and shadows as well, right? So all my charts are, and of course this is blue color, this is a reddish in color, so I'll make sure that colors are also matching. So over here it's not bars, it is written what, columns. So I'll go to columns and select color now, and again select the similar color, right? I have my column chart ready as well. The third chart I would like to add is, we can add in, say for example, now tables I can add in. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll add in a line chart now, right? So I'm selecting this line chart. One thing you should always remember while adding a line chart is that line chart will always consist some date time period in x axis, right? So what I'll do is I have this date and I have this more options as well, say for example years, months, quarters. So I'll only take months, and in this months I'll see my box office collections, right? So this is a beautiful line chart showcasing us what, which month is giving a lot of earning to the films that we are sending to Oscars. As you can see that June, So it's my birthday month. I like this month. June, as you can see, is giving the highest revenue, and you can also see something. December is also coming in. So the movies that were highest generating revenue were there, might be their release dates are around this months that is coming in. Again, I can go back to my formatting. In my formatting, again I can do what? So in lines now, in lines I can change the style of line, how the line should look like, what should be its width and color as well. So I'll give similar color to my line, right? After that, again I can go ahead in my general, in my effects, I'll add in again what? Visual border and shadow. Also going back to title, I can again do what? Make it bold and align it in a more central position, right? So I'll decrease its size a bit. So I need to adjust the size as well, right? That is also important for your chart. So now see, for example, one chart size is this much, another one is different, another one is different. Now that is making our creatively designed dashboard to look a bit weird. Why? Because it is not following some standardized things that each chart is following. So it's looking a little bit weird, but going ahead while doing a project as well, will be exactly looking how to manage all these things. For now, this is just basic charts. We have done bar chart, column chart, line chart. One simple chart as well we'll see is a pie chart. In this pie chart, what we can do is we can take languages, for example, and in these languages we can take say budget or box office, whatever you feel like, right? So now as you can see, a simple pie chart has been created with each slice is showing us what? That Telugu movie and Hindi language movies are getting a lot of revenue generated, right? Whereas movies like Tamil, Malayalam are getting a bit of portion, but Marathi is also there, but Marathi is a very single orange line. So it's very regional language, that's why it must be getting low revenue. But Telugu, Hindi is most generating. But again, these are not all the movies that we have created. These are only the movies we are sending to Oscars, right? So over here, what we can do again is go back to our format tab. Again, we can go to slices and change each and every specific color that we want. In general tab, again go ahead, bold our title, align it in a centric way, add in effects with borders and shadows, right? So this is one more chart that is coming in, right? I can go ahead and decrease its size accordingly so that each chart is properly aligned, right? So I'll be doing that more specifically in coming upcoming lectures. For now, as I'll revise quickly: column chart, bar chart, line chart, and pie chart. These are the 4 types of charts that we looked into. Thank you so much.
To know more about Advance, visit our website